Man, oh man, you want to talk about seriously intriguing set pieces? Look no further than a statue on top of whatever the heck that thing is. I like this old dude, seems like a real lad, even after getting blasted in the face by Asta. Take a win for being a kind dude. Oh boy, that's some beautiful scenery right there. Incredibly vivid.
今年は豊作になるといいな。そうだな。うっと。
Getting our first introduction to this world's magic, or whatever it's going to be referred to as, and oh, heads up, I haven't seen a single episode of this, so bear with me as I learn everything and forgive any small mistakes. And of course, if you can't forgive that, I can't forgive you if you don't hit that subscribe button and hit the bell while you're at it. Around 70% of my regular viewers have yet to subscribe, so be sure to do that and ensure you don't miss out on so much greatness coming real soon.
なんだ? また教会の小坊主か.
Scenery shot.
いつか魔法帝になってあなたを幸せにします。だから俺と結婚してください。
Okay, so I'm going to be completely honest, that definitely is very grating to my ears after hearing it 20 times so far. In fact, if I'm being honest, I actually wrote about it not being as bad as I thought it would be and then came back several minutes later and it's pretty bad. So I'll simply focus on other things naturally, and I'm told it calms down after 10 episodes from now, which is great. But for now, I'm enjoying learning more about Asta, getting a first glimpse at magic, and learning more about the world in general. Not running on the spot. Okay, that was pretty slick. Those of you who know this channel know that I really dig what I call continuous shots, where it appears as though the camera doesn't cut away, and that looked great. Kawaii! Also though, it's nice to see comedic moments in this anime. This has now been the third instance already. I know most shonen have them. I'm just glad when I see it, as it would feel odd with none.
あんなに泣き虫だったのに、ある日、大怪我したアスタと帰ってきたあの時から、ユノは泣かなくなったのよね。
Oh, I'm a huge fan of anime that don't delve too much into exposition. They definitely could have chosen to reveal loads right there to get it out into the story, but instead gave just a little tidbit, and I appreciate that as it wets my inquisitive whistle.
97、990、ここで魔力増強にとされるモグロバの汁、投入！
I also like how they show us that Asta is trying extremely hard in order to gain his magical powers. He's desperate to get them, he's working tirelessly at it, and it will make the payoff eventually if he does get them that much sweeter. Credit where it's due, they actually drew all 32 of these people wearing different clothing and such. Man, I love anime just for stuff like this. The stories, the different worlds and characters. It's a great time to be alive, and I'm very happy to be covering this. Wow, loads of foreshadowing in this short segment. Him not getting his own book, his mate getting like the best book, and the guy in the background watching everything go down looking a little shady, colour me continually intrigued. First win here is for this scenery shot of the entire village with that in the background. It looks awesome. Second win is for his attitude. He seems to never give up, and I like that quality. Life can throw a lot at you sometimes, but you gotta keep your chin up, work hard, and never stop pushing. It's a good life lesson. Talk about going the extra mile, which you very rarely ever see. They actually showed the grass either side of him completely charred from the earlier flame attack. I love that dedication. This 3-minute long segment was great because it already put Asta's determination that I previously mentioned to the test, and on the very verge of giving up, he was brought back by his rival's reminder of his position in his life. This guy with the chains was awful too, just a terrible guy, made me very angry.
今、こいつを倒す。クリモワール。やっぱりな。アスタが選ばれないなんてありえねえ。
Whoa, wait, what? This came out of nowhere, man. I thought he'd continue to fight a physical battle, but now he's getting his own grimoire and it's a 5-leaf Clover on it. What the heck? Plot twist!
5枚目には悪魔が住む
Dude, not gonna lie, that was a sick end to the first episode. On to episode 2! Okay, so visually speaking, that was one of the most spectacular looking OPs I think I've ever seen. It was incredibly well put together. Artistically speaking, in terms of pushing character narratives, like Asta trying to catch up all the time and such, it also flowed beautifully, showing off new characters, one of whom, goodness me, I cannot wait to see more of. If you know me, you'll have a guess who that was, and the music was awesome and catchy.
よくできました。
まだだユノ。大人になるまで絶対諦めないからな。
Well now, he definitely does have some serious determination. Trying to marry this lovely lady for over 10 years and with that level of enthusiasm is nothing short of madness. That being said, great to know more about him and Yuno in these pleasant and well-placed flashback sequences.
こうして魔導士は魔法帝と呼ばれ伝説になったのでした。
Goodness me, that's what that thing is outside? That's insane. I cannot wait to find out more about it. I love things like this. Super interesting lore.
行ってきます。
Might sound dumb, but yet again, not running on the spot. Like, you'd be amazed how many popular anime of recent memory animated characters walking on the spot. Like the last season of High School DxD and Darling in the Franxx, for example. So I always appreciate the extra effort.
ありがとうございます。
Yet another great example of going the extra mile with those footprints right there. This entire scene was outstanding to tell me everything I need to know about Yuno and Asta's relationship, and Asta really shone brightly here, refusing to lose against someone so much bigger than him.
魔力がなくても俺は魔法帝になる。
Oh god, this is hype! Art style change.
幸せにする。贅沢させる。
約束覚えてるか？
ユノは
アスタは
俺のライバルだ。
どっちが魔法帝になるか勝負だ。
These scenes are just stupidly well done, artistically speaking, from the rising petals in the present day to the falling snow in the past. 2 different time periods, but sharing one promise after 2 fights where Asta saves Yuno against impossible odds. Love me stuff like that. Pretty simple ED, still gets a win as always. Nice song and simple visuals, it gets the job done, you feel me? Oh, I adore stuff like this. Truly epic world building as we see a giant creature wrecking an entire city as a wizard comes into play. I like stuff like this because it opens the world and adds so many questions that I then look forward to being answered. Honestly, this is some cool looking magical attacks that's got me really hyped for what will come later on. Teleportation, different elements of magic such as wind and lightning, and this lad is using different stuff too. Okay, that was sick. That gets its own win. I mean, it was a giant golden sword of magic and this lad saved the world from the demons. But where did they come from and will there be more? I can't wait to find out. Seeing both of them training in their own ways, each as determined as the other to become the greatest, but for a good purpose, to protect the other one and everything they jointly care about in life. This whole scene. But jokes aside, it's nice to know he does care for Asta and would genuinely miss him if he was to leave, and I'm glad they showed that.
俺たちみたいな捨て子で貧しい奴らは夢なんて見ちゃいけないんだよ。
マッシュ。最初から諦めんな。可能性は誰にだってあるわ。
うっせえな。
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but it so fits his personality, so it's great.
でもさ、もし万が一、いや億に一、
お前が魔法騎士団に入れたら俺も可能性を信じられる。何にだってなれるって。そしていつか俺も魔法騎士団に。
待ってるぞ。
You know, it's a nice little twist to have Asta want to achieve something for the sake of his little cobbled together family here, rather than in other shonen I've seen. It's more like the person is doing something for themselves. Even Midoriya, to a degree, in My Hero Academia. Yes, he wants to be a hero to save people, but he still wants to be a hero partly for himself, but it's only a small degree, that's a given. A better example is Naruto wanting to be the best for himself, and even Gon wanting to be the greatest to meet someone. Sorry that was wordy, but I think you get my point, but let me know down below your thoughts.
諦めなければ何でもできる。ほら急ぐぞ。置いてくぞユノ。ありえねえ。ついてこれないだろユノ。
I'm glad that they added Yuno actually starting to acknowledge Asta in many ways now, such as racing him in the previous episode, even being hilariously petty about racing another 3 feet to the front door of the church. Now they're travelling together and it feels a lot more relaxing than where he was treating him coldly in the first 2 episodes. I know it half counts as a montage since it's fully voiced and such, but it's still basically a montage, and I always give wins for anime that do animated montages. Another great example is Demon Slayer. Genuinely amazing looking citywide scenery shot that probably took ages to put together.
おーすげえ。
Excellent demonstration of how magic is used so much in this world that it's an everyday fixture of everyone's lives.
ああ静かでいい。アスタがいなくなってせいせいしたぜ。
またそんなことを。
本当だって。
そろそろオートに着いた頃よね。
Very nice touch bringing it back to the church to see what they're all up to. I'm a big fan of anime, not just focusing entirely on the main character or characters. My Hero Academia does this nicely as well, often switching gears to look at other heroes like All Might and what he's doing.
俺たちのどっちかが魔法帝になる。その伝説の始まりだなユノ。半年間の俺の修行の成果見せてやるからな。なんだこの鳥どもは。
New interesting looking characters, whoop! I'm gonna tell you guys and few gals, by the by that's a reference to how like 85% of my audience is male, so if you're a lady hit that subscribe button. I am really enjoying this so far. Just 4 episodes in, I've really liked the effort put into showcasing these unique looking captains and so many of them as well. That's really awesome that the mangaka did that.
待たせたね。今回の試験は私が仕切らせてもらうよ。
Jotaro! Ba-ba-na-na.
ちょっと力抜いてみ。ほらこんな風に。
おおすげえな畜生。
よし。
何をしている。お前の行く先はもう決まっているのだ。余計な真似はするな。
はい。ノゼル兄様。
Okay, so firstly take a win for showing us Asta having to go through this. Naturally, Yuno is doing great, but him, with no magic ability, is obviously struggling, and I actually, genuinely can't wait to see what will come of these tests in regards to him. Secondly, I was hoping and praying that these insanely unique characters would be more than just brief characters we see, who are quickly shipped off screen never to be seen again. But here we see already that one of them has more going on behind the scenes with his sister, and I deeply appreciate this happening. Oh dear lord! Kawaii! After everything that happened during the exams, that was nothing short of amazing! I'd say, in general, other than the guy with the chains at the end of the first episode, this series, during part 1, at least so far, is showcasing some decent looking CGI and effects in general, actually. Getting to witness Yuno win in such an easy fashion, much the same as Asta, which means we aren't yet spoiled to all of their coming attacks and greatness down the road, instead seeing just a glimpse, and I like that. Hunter x Hunter did much the same, keeping attacks very straightforward until around episode 40 to 50 when we get an introduction to Nen.
敷の夜明けなんて王族か貴族しか入れないんじゃなかったのか。禁欲の大明日までが。
すげえ。
165番挙手なし。
I was worried that would happen. God, my curiosity has peaked to an insane level right now, though, as a result. Is it me, or is this not equally awesome to Nen right now?
つまり俺たち9つの騎士団の団長たちを超えるってことだよな。
Aizawa from My Hero Academia.
お前面白い。うちの団に来い。
I think Asta finding a way of getting into the Knights is absolutely worthy of a win. It's no doubt one huge pivotal moment in the story, and it was pretty great from the music to the effects and his awesome voice acting.
ちょっと驚かそうとしただけさ。別れる前に挨拶しようと思ってね。ならうせろ。アスタにお前じゃ足りない。
Loving this moment, not only because he is defending Asta when, let's face it, he's pretty vulnerable, but also this statement about him not being a match for Asta just tells us what he thinks of him and that he still respects him even with his cold demeanor.
今日も天使のように可愛いな、マイリトルシスターマリー。
Loads of new characters in this squad. There's the Adorbs girl eating cake, and goodness me, the woman who woke up from her nap drunk. My word. Anyway, yeah, that's really awesome.
お前ら壊すんじゃねえ。
めっちゃ壊してる。
As funny as this moment was with Asta's comment about the wall, my man Aizawa doesn't half have an outstanding voice actor. In fact, they've all been great so far. You know, with Asta's being mighty grating, but in all honesty, that's calmed down at least 60% already. So yeah, take a win for all of them.
最果て出身で魔法騎士団に入るだなんて。よろしく。君戦い好き？
ああ。
僕大好き。戦う？
どうだ。妹のマリー、天使だ。いいか、マリーに手を出したら殺す。
Honestly, and I mean this everyone, really enjoying this right now. They're doing some fantastic introductions to these characters who act in weird and wonderful ways. Like, I don't know why, but lightly punching his hand during his introduction and this guy shoving a picture of his sister in his face is brilliant. It's quirky and original and I love that. I just hope this video can garner over 40,000 views in the first month. Then I'd be more than happy to whip up a part 2 covering episodes 16 to 30, but let's wait and see. That was straight up beautifully smooth animation right there. That was sick! Get out of it!
それじゃあ洗礼の儀その2だよ。
はい。おう。
かっこよかったわよ。どうや。
Asta now being fully accepted as part of the group after his awesome demonstration, which has left a couple of questions up in the air about how exactly his sword works. Very interesting. Okay, that was pretty awesome, not gonna lie.
あれがもう一人の新入団員？
Color me intrigued!
ちなみに俺の部屋はこの倍の広さと。
俺の部屋。
Asta being so moved about having his own room finally.
合格したって。アスタも。
2 minutes of glorious Asta being shown around the headquarters by Magna-related awesomeness and meeting the royal lovely-looking lady person.
なんでよ。なんで思った通りに。
シルバ家の末っ子は魔力の操作すら思うようにできないらしいですぞ。
なんだその薄っぺらいグリモワールは。
Learning that there is way more to Noelle than first meets the eye, as her character and her background is opened up for the viewer, as we also gain a better understanding of how royalty works in this world when it comes to magic and their ability to use it.
Wow!
Hinata from Haikyuu.
でき損ない。
またバカにされる。
お前なんちゅう魔力持ってんだよ。すっげえな。
Character growth. I love seeing character growth. Using the first almost half of this episode to further reveal the individual characteristics of the group at large. Something somewhat rare for shonen anime, since usually they tend to focus on one character at a time from my experience, but here we're so far frequently treated to a top-up, as it were, of each character and their personalities as we see them hang out together. Plus it was pretty cool to learn what exactly these knights actually do too.
てめえらよちよち歩きの新入りのケツくらい先輩の俺が面倒見てやら。
マグナ先輩男っすね。
These two heading out on their first mission, a nicely linked in segment to them playing cards, which initially greatly confused me as to how it was relevant to the story at large. Nicely played, Black Clover. Nicely played.
かっけー。
だろいガスだろ
します
ダサ。
だとおめえにはこの芸術的なフォルムの良さがわからんのか。
ダサ。
Honestly, the comedy in this anime happens way more than what I'm used to from shonen anime. It's almost like an actual comedy shonen, if you know what I mean. I swear, I'm laughing or chuckling away to myself way more often than usual. Our first look at a proper new location outside of the capital city and Hague village, and the introduction of some shifty looking characters onto the scene. Another unique magic attacker! By the by, if you're not familiar with what the heck was just said, that's also a regular thing on this channel. Came from JoJo, I think. Check those out.
あれ、助けなくていいの？
おめえら二人乗せてここまで飛んできて魔力も体力も消耗したからな。
Gaining a better understanding slowly of how magic works. For example, I didn't know it's like an MP bar that slowly gets drained through its use until it can run out. That's interesting. Seeing all about Magna's backstory and how he came to respect the old village leader so much, having lost to him in battle many times over as a youngster, and having also been guided by him towards taking the exams himself. I hope we're going to get these kinds of stories for other characters in the balls too.
あんな男になりてえなってヤミさんの次に尊敬して。村が
That's such a nice touch, dude. Those two instances of reactions on his face, full of genuine worry for the old man. God, I love stuff like that. That was so good.
Asta!
That was second awesome! He saved everyone!
ダイヤモンド王国のスパイでも村を荒らす蛮族ってわけでもなさそうだ。
Awesome little bit of tasty and crispy side exposition with a side of lightly salted but low-fat world building. Oh, I kept it up right to the end.
王や貴族が住む王騎会、平民が住む平会、そして境外会。
If you know me and you know this channel, then you already know that I hugely dig world maps and stuff.
上では魔力が強い人しか生きていけない。魔力が弱い人たちへの差別があるの。同じ人間なのにね。
Oh, I'm so glad that they mentioned this. It was kind of bugging me as to why the nobles or the people below them but still living in the city were being so cruel to people from the sticks, and why that kept being mentioned so often, but now it makes absolutely perfect sense. It was truly awesome getting to see Asta and Magna take on these powerful foes. I really thought that initially it was going to be a simple mission, so that was a great bait and switch. Also seeing Noelle actually try and fight alongside them was good as well, since I thought I'd have flashbacks of the girl from Naruto who could only ever stand around yelling names, but no, she actually tries and fights. And even though her eventual turnaround is a little microwaved by the girl asking for help, it's still decent character growth all the same.
上に噛みつくその一瞬を
俺に魔力なんてねえ。でもお前をぶ
Not even gonna attempt to lie. That felt really awesome when he did that. Ah! Plot twist! As he pulls out a freaking Todoroki! Now it's plain to see why they made such a big deal in so many scenes of Asta's ironclad determination as a character quality, because even in circumstances like that, he just absolutely refuses to stop. It's a really appealing element of his personality, in all honesty. That kind of hit me a little bit. That deserves a great win, and purely because they took the time to build up their relationship via several in-depth flashbacks. Beautiful animation right there, and then nicely flows into a continuous shot as well. Ugh, yes! Yup, take one more for his attack. I knew they'd do that. That was such a great way to end the battle too, and Noelle actually managed to protect Magna by learning to control some of her magic. Great battle and great character building all around too.
バカでうるさくて下民でけどなんかすごいやつ
That was good, but also maybe potential love interest, who knows? Stunning full-on village scenery shot. That's genuinely sad that he did pass away, but I'm really happy that they actually showed him in his fight and that he fought hard at the end to protect his village and his people and his family.
黒の防御程度ならいつでもどうとでもできる。魔石はしばらく持たせておくとするか。
Oh, yes, baby, end of episode related dose of severe intriguement.
おれ、おめえらも笑え。はっはっ、もっと。はっはっはっはっ。ノエコードだ。
This moment made me laugh way harder than it probably should have.
金色とようやくジャスト100差か。
100！爆殺！
I'm amazed that they chose to use such an intricate degree of great animation right there for something so simple, but I'm not hating on it even a little bit. Nice example of subtly using CGI to pepper in characters down below in a shot like this. Also nicely followed up by animating multiple characters moving in one scene right after two.
こいつは
It's pretty cool to bring this guy back into the story. It's not something I thought they'd actually do, and of course the scene is also accompanied by quite a few funny moments too. I derive so much unusual joy from moments where people are comfortable in their magical abilities against Asta and his physical ones with just his sword, and then stuff like this happens. Oh, I love that so much for some reason.
こんな終わり方も悪くないか。
How this whole scenario ended up going. I really didn't expect that, especially since the thief actually said, "I'm taking you down with me," and then uses something that just numbs his foot. Anyway, it was great, and it's nice to see that Asta's personality doesn't allow him to hold a petty grudge against someone like him.
闇もなかなか面白い子を取ったもんだね。これだから変身ぶらりはやめられないな。
Wait, what? He's the Wizard King! We're meeting the Wizard King! This is so awesome!
だからこそ、ハート王国に留学することになった息子が盗賊などに狙われたらと心配なんだろう。
Oh yes, I was waiting for something like this to happen, whereby we get to see what Yuno and his clan has been up to, since they're so different pretty much across the board to Asta and the Black Bulls.
しかしハプシャス家にも転移魔法が使える者がいるだろう。 なぜわざわざ。しかも護衛は私たちだけ。
This just got way more interesting after hearing his internal monologue, curious and nervous as to why they're alone as bodyguards and travelling via such an unsafe method to another kingdom. I'm gonna say one more time, I know I'm only 12 episodes in, but Black Clover, its story, its characters, its world and everything else is really starting to grow on me in a big way. I'm having a blast and I hope you're enjoying yourselves too. Make sure to let me know via hitting that like button and leaving a comment too. Diggity doggy dog! I did not expect so much action so soon into his mission with some very impressive looking animation. Like, it almost looked sped up. That was a little strange, but it was smooth. I can't take that away from it. Okay. Alright. So your boy is kind of dumb, and I'm leaving this in the script. But one of my dogs had hit my keyboard after I fed them and I never noticed. That's why it looked sped up, because it was literally sat on times 2 speed. Oh dear. Anyway, I rewatched it and it looked fantastic at a normal speed, so all the credit to them, but obviously no double win here, just thought I'd add that.
大きなものだね。頭に立っているのが初代魔法帝の石像か。なるほどね。それで教会はどこなのかね。
I just want to say, I don't like where this is going, and the fact that they're being very coy about it is making me very nervous, and I don't trust this guy at all, and I'm feeling nervous as heck, and they get a win for invoking that reaction from me.
いいの、お見知りおきよ。
ごめんなさい、つい。
いいんですよ、シスター。
Okay, I'm still slightly nervous, but it's definitely reduced by a solid 95% after everyone had done their introductions, and the sister smashed him for getting up in her face and him taking it well. I'm so confused, just give me the answer to the riddle that is the end of this episode already. I can't take it!
ユノとアスタが魔法騎士団に入って初めての給料から仕送りしてくれて、それで
I like this subtle little smile. It's like Yuno is glad to hear that Asta has also chosen to send home some of his money. Obviously it could be that he's happy they got the money, but he's usually more stoic than that.
アスタはいくらぐらい？
ゴニョゴニョゴニョ。
あ！来月から俺は給料を全部送ります。
いいのよ、そんなに。気持ちだけで。
送ります。
そう？
Their competitiveness never ceases to be hilarious to me, especially his reaction when he heard the amount Asta had sent, and then his reaffirming that he'll be sending all of his pay. Man, oh man, I knew something had to be happening, and I swear it's something to do with that Lord guy, as I do not trust him. My mistrust levels have risen again, back up to 100%. 2 minutes of Yuno crushing his enemies to pieces, and in general being a total powerful badass with some nice effects. Also lots of new types of magic it does to enjoy.
そこで私の植物創生魔法真実の花を使ったのですわ。
魔法騎士団に入れなかったのはユノのせいだ。
Yeah, I figured as much. Dude honestly had me fooled for a moment. I've brought shame to my family. Well, not really, but still a nice twist.
それもミモザの能力だ。
植物創生魔法魔化の道しるべ。
Okay, this genuinely and definitely warrants another actually unique Magicka. I mean, his is cool, but it's only creating steel things or something. Hers is very unique.
だから背後から援護できたというわけだ。
ありがとうございます。
Also, take one here for him managing to bond with his team like this as well. I figured he'd remain the outcast, but clearly that hasn't been the case, at least so far anyway, and I like that character progression.
いやー、面白かったね。
They totally got me again! I completely forgot that he said he was going to see some more different kinds of magic right before this happened. Man, oh man, we are really taking off in this anime now that we've reached the next OP already. This one was just as gorgeously detailed to me as the first one was. The song is almost as good as the first to my tastes, and I'm really glad they changed up the style. It really smacks of Persona 5, if you know what I mean. Really enjoyed that change. Let me know your thoughts down below. Their bonding over that bird is so random, but I strangely find it really appealing. Also appealing to me, and something I've mentioned in the past during videos on anime like 7 Deadly Sins, is when a whole crew get together and just chill like this. I guess I enjoy their conversations and humour and learning slightly more about them all bit by bit. Dunno, suppose I'm weird.
昔の人間たちの遺物が眠る古墳のようなもんで、強力な古代魔法の使用法や貴重な魔道具なんかが眠ってる。
Ah yes, this also reminds me of another win I forgot to give earlier on, but I do enjoy the aspect of magical items in this anime, since to a degree, simple magic spells and their users could grow tiresome perhaps, but by having magical items it freshens everything up and allows more scope for changes down the road.
いいか、新入りの面倒しっかり見るんだぞ。
任せて。
In terms of giving everyone time to shine, it's a fantastic idea to now have Luck be in charge of the next mission and accompany them. We learned a lot about Magna through their first mission, and even Vanessa to a smaller degree via the shopping trip to the capital. Hopefully they keep doing this moving forwards too. I haven't a clue if dungeons will be a recurring theme in one way or another over the course of this anime, but it's a nice addition all the same. I guess if they actually need filler at some stage, something like this would also work for that, but with luck that won't be needed.
雷神の長靴。ちょっと大事な用ができちゃった。
Plot twist that they aren't alone in the dungeon, plus getting to learn more about Luck and his weird personality and cool magic, something I hoped would happen when I mentioned win number 123.
これで借りを返したぞ。
Well hey, what a great way in which to reunite these two along with their comrades meeting one another. It's actually a very awesome way of doing it as well, by putting it on the whims of the Wizard King who has watched them both, rather than them by chance running into each other or something. Much the same as the new OP, the ED packs yet another banger of a song and yet more of a stylistic shake-up over the original, and there's a lot more going on visually too, which is always nice.
マナって何?
Sometimes these little segments are useful as well, since here they fill us in on what I already kind of figured out, explaining how mana works and so on. It's a nice way to drop exposition outside of the main anime itself. Hunter x Hunter did much the same thing too.
我々のためにこれからさらに強くなっていくだろう。あ、そう、強くなってもらわねばね。
This dude who looks just like Griffith in Berserk is tickling my curiosity bone with comments like that.
だいたい今回の任務を任されているのもおこがましい。
魔法帝直々に任されたっつーの。
貴様、我らが崇拝するバンジャンス団長、愚弄するか。
なんだとこら、男らしくてスーパーイカズだろうが。
貴族にその口の利き方はなんだ。
I'm finding it unusually appealing getting to witness both of these groups interact with one another, and I don't even know why. Help me!
Nero?
Nero being a helpful little mad lad of a bird, and also fun fact, my first dog was called Nero. He was a huge Doberman, bless his heart, and may he rest in peace.
ダイヤの親玉は誰かな？
は、敵の軍を率いているのは奈落のロータスです。
While they're in the dungeon during this arc, it's very interesting to note that they decided to keep the outside world ticking over, especially building up the world with their aggressive neighbour country who has also delved into the same dungeon attempting to conquer it first.
こんな大層な傷残してくれちゃってね。変わった戦闘スタイルだったな。年下で勝てなかったのは彼だけだったね。
Another great thing occurring quite often in Black Clover so far is the matching up of new and old characters, such as Noelle knowing the girl from the other clan, that being her royal cousin, the captain knowing this dude from the Diamond Kingdom and having beaten him in battle. I always enjoy when they give characters shared backgrounds like that, and it also helps us to be able to put everyone's power into perspective.
トラップ魔法ではない。なんだこの魔法は。何者だ。どけ。持つべきものは心強い仲間だよね。
I'm so glad that this arc introduced new and interesting characters to us and had them all fight within this dungeon for the spoils. It's no joke to say that I cannot wait to find out what happens next.
久々に面白くなってきたんだ。
Emergency plot twist! He's got armor! Get out of here! Well, ladies and gents, there you have it. 15 episodes worth of greatness wrapped up in one neat video. I'm going to drop a final win here for these episodes. I truly enjoyed myself. I really loved a lot about what I've seen. If this video can surpass 40,000 views in 1 month, then I'll definitely make a part 2 covering episodes 16 to 30, so let's wait and see what happens. Don't forget you can hit me up on my Twitter or my Discord server preferably, links are down below. I'd also love it if you could hit the like button and leave me a comment. If you really want to support the work I do entirely alone, you can also pledge on my Patreon, linked below, in return for numerous rewards. Thanks for watching, I hope you had a great time, and I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully in part 2. Nathan Bird, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Consul Peasant 12, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Jaffa 6263, Amy San, Silva, Master Tank, Boogie, Kevin Nauta, Stefio, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Mr. Waffle 64, Theodore Quackens, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Amye Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Adora Blue, Yagai 7636.